Monsters, Inc. was one of Pixar's best works yet. It had a neat concept and charming moments. I was scared of it when I was a kid, but I'll always have a soft spot for it. But that's not what I'm talking about. There's something that'll be stuck in my head for years now. It was November 2nd, 2020, a year before Monsters, Inc.'s 20th anniversary. I was viewing the Pixar website about their projects from 1995 through 2005. Not long after, I got a mail notification from Pixar themselves. I opened up the email and it said, "Hello, Pixar fan from Australia. We would like to show you an unreleased draft of the beginning of Monsters, Inc., as we'd rather not release it to the public. The person who made it was the same person who made the deleted draft of Woody's Nightmare from Toy Story 2, only he impersonated a random man. After you watch it, please do not screen it anywhere. Watch it at your own risk." Huh. Well, I was confused, but also surprised. I just got another email from Pixar. The first time I got one from them was when I was given a deleted draft of Woody's Nightmare from Toy Story 2. I downloaded the file, and it was finally saved to my laptop. File name was Monsters, Inc. Opening Beta.mov. An alternate draft of the beginning of Monsters, Inc., huh? I thought to myself. Well, it's not like they were calling me a beta. I opened up the file, but before it played, it had a warning. The following deleted, later changed footage of Monsters, Inc. you are about to see is not for the weak-hearted. Viewer discretion is advised. I got anxious after reading that. Here goes the freakiness again. What was this, Freaky Friday? The footage started with the shot of a sheaf in a child's bedroom with toys placed on. We heard the usual dialogue is heard in the final film. "Good night, sweetheart," said a woman's voice. "Good night, Mom," said a boy's voice. "Sleep tight, kiddo," said a man's voice. The light then switched off. It then panned down to the simulation boy sleeping in bed. Oh, things were normal, but when the door creaked open, there was a silent growl coming from the simulation boy's closet. The boy looked around his room to see where the growling was coming from, and he saw a tentacle leaning on the door. However, something wasn't quite right. The tentacled arm was holding a hatchet. The boy gasped and shut his eyes, bracing for a scare. But when he looked again, the tentacle was only his red jumper sleeve. The boy then went back to sleep. Then a shadow flew over him. As that happened, the room then glowed dark red. What the hell is going on? I said to myself. This was why the film was adapted. When it panned under the bed, red glowing eyes opened, but there was blood pouring out of them. It then cut to a shot of the simulation boy sleeping. At that moment, Thaddeus Bile, one of the monsters in the movie, emerged from behind. And, oh God, he looked berserk. He was all blood-stained. He was holding cleavers in both hands. He was grinning with blood stains on his teeth. The boy then turned around to see Bile, and he let out a loud, piercing, blood-curdling scream. The scream was so loud I had to cover my own ears. The scream lasted for about 5 seconds until he finally stopped. As I went to play the video file again, I noticed something that I can't explain. I noticed blood on my palms. Shit, I croaked. Maybe the boy's scream made my ears bleed, even if I still covered them? Bile then tried to attack the boy with a cleaver, but the boy jumped out of bed and was human rather than a robot. "I'm gonna get you, little boy," yelled Bile. The simulation boy then opened up the door to get his parents. "Mom! Dad! There's a monster in my room!" However, a familiar figure landed in front of him. It was none other than Tex. Not Tex Avery, but Tex the THX mascot. "Hey there, Sparky. Your mommy and daddy aren't here to save you." Tex then chuckled sinisterly. The boy was getting even more scared. "What did you do to them?" the boy asked in fear. "Don't worry. I put them in a safe place. Now it's time to play with Sexy Texy." Tex then grabbed out a chainsaw from the back of his belt. "Hey, Thaddeus, heads up!" Tex then threw the chainsaw to Bile, and the latter caught it. "Thanks, Texo," Thaddeus remarked. He started up the chainsaw to kill the boy with it. But the boy screamed and ran through his house. He ran past many obstacles that were in his way, as Bile cut right through everything, laughing maniacally, while Tex flew around. The boy banged on his parents' bedroom door, but they didn't open. Instead, he tried to find a place to hide. The boy searched for a place to hide until he found the kitchen pantry. He then ran into it and closed the door. "Oh, Sparky, where are you?" Tex cooed. "We're not going to hurt you. We're not going to kill you. Oh, we actually are going to hurt you really bad," Bile added. The boy then sneezed in the pantry, accidentally alerting the two serial killers, and Bile opened up the pantry and found the boy. Oh, the boy screamed in a blood-curdling tone again, but the scream wasn't loud this time. And the boy tried to run out of the house, but Tex flew into him and grabbed him by the arms, and the two were high up into the sky as the height of a cruise ship. Tex then flew into the boy's window, crashing into the bed. "Hey, Thaddeus, I've got the kid. I'll hold him down. You do your thing." Thaddeus then ran into the room and started up the chainsaw again. "Oh, yeah, this is where the playtime starts." The boy panicked. "No, please don't hurt me. I'm just a young boy. No, no, no." Thaddeus Bile then prepared to swing the chainsaw down under the boy's chest, but his nose started to feel tickly. At that moment, he sneezed on the human simulation boy. Oh, the mucus on the boy was very toxic, and in fact, it started absorbing into him. The boy let out a third blood-curdling scream, but it was even louder than the first one was. I covered my ears again, and yeah, I noticed more blood. The scream lasted for 4 seconds, shorter than the first scream. When the scream stopped, I received a headache. I then went outside of the house to rest my head for 5 minutes and cleaned the blood out of my ears with a tissue. When the time was up, I went to watch the rest of the video. Bile and Tex laughed maniacally as the boy's skin was being irritated. The boy then started to feel nauseous, and he started to get rashes, and his eyes then disintegrated, and finally he collapsed. The laughing stopped as soon as he finally died. Holy shit. I muttered. It showed an uncomfortably close-up shot of the boy's face zooming in. He was missing his eyes, there was a scar on the right side of his head, and his eardrums were faintly bleeding. As it zoomed into his face, there was a group of people, screams fading in. I expected for, I don't know, something else to happen. However, it snapped back to reality where Bile had made a huge mess in the simulation room. The bed was knocked over, many objects in the room were moved around and damaged, and the simulation boy was pulled out of the bed. Bile then smiled sheepishly as the wall pulled up. Miss Flint, another character from the movie, was disappointed in Bile for making a mess. Mr. Bile, you're fired. I'm sorry, but the truth hurts. Bile groaned in despair. With that, the video ended. After seeing the simulation boy's corpse, I started having an upset stomach. I ran to the bathroom and I threw up straight into the toilet. After I threw up, I went to delete the file on my laptop since Pixar didn't want it screened in public. That night I started to have nightmares. Had a nightmare of Thaddeus Bile and Tex killing me, and another about the simulation boy screaming in my face. I hadn't watched another Pixar film after that day. Every night I sleep in bed, I get that feeling that somebody is, just watching me. From my own wardrobe.